it. Good afternoon to you, Kisa. Indeed, we're live at the Supreme Court of Kenya. And a showdown, a legal showdown at that, looms here at the Supreme Court in the next coming days. And as I've asked that question, whether a petition has been filed, that is what we want to find out right now. I'm joined by the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, that's Anna Madi, to just find out. First question, thank you so much for making time for KTN. Yeah. Has any petition been filed?
Not yet. No petition has been filed. We are waiting. And as we had advertised earlier, the registry will be open until midnight tomorrow. That's the final timeline for the petition to be filed under the Constitution.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because NASA did announce yesterday they will be filing a petition. Mm-hmm. So you're saying up to midnight tomorrow is what they have.
That's the deadline.
That's the deadline. Mm-hmm. So when they come, this is where they'll be coming?
Yes, this is the registry, the Supreme Court registry.
Right.
We have our staff here who will be ready to receive them. As you can see, they are all there ready. Mm-hmm. So there'll be somebody to receive the whole petition. There will be somebody to verify that all the documentation is correct. Mm-hmm. There will be somebody to assess the fees, and then it will be received.
When you're talking about fees, what are we talking?
The fees is 500,000 shillings. There's another 1 million being security for costs. Mm-hmm. And then depending on the kind of documents that are filed, if there are other things that are filed beyond the basic documentation, then an assessment will be done, but that will be nominal. But the basic figure is 1.5 million.
All right. Mm-hmm. I see one of the counters is marked verification. What is being verified at that counter?
Okay, there are legal requirements as to which kind of documents should be filed. So really it's about checking that the documents that are required to be filed legally are all in order, mm-hmm. so that you don't place before judges documents that are faulty. So that's really what it entails.
In their interest, as they file this petition, tomorrow being the final day, mm-hmm. if there are any changes or corrections that must be made, they all must happen before midnight, or anything after that is out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when does this 14 period of time we've heard that the decision or judgment must be rendered start? When does that clock begin?
It begins tomorrow. So after filing, the petitioners have 2 days within which to serve the other side, to serve the respondents. Mm-hmm. The respondents have 4 days within which to file their response. After that, there is 1 day in between, whereby if there are any interlocutory applications, they can be dealt with at that point. What does this mean? Mm-hmm. Just learning from what happened last time, we had other interested parties mm-hmm. filing their own applications and petitions. We might have people coming in as friends of the court, or what we call amicus curiae. Yeah. Those kinds of applications can be sorted out at that point. Issues like if there is need to consolidate a number of applications, there is 1 day to do just that. Mm-hmm. That will be the 7th day. So on the 8th day, then the judges will meet in a conference and make certain determinations that will guide the process going forward.
Okay. So in terms of the hearing proper, courtroom proceedings, when are we likely to see that?
That begins after the 8th day, after the conference. Mm-hmm. So after the conference, on the following day, we expect that the court will begin to sit for the hearing.
Okay. And many Kenyans will remember during the interviews for the Chief Justice, mm-hmm.
Of
course, he said he's a Seventh-day Adventist, said work is out of question when it comes to Saturdays. Mm-hmm. It's likely that this hearing would fall on a Saturday, mm-hmm. Or at least some of the procedures. Mm-hmm. What is the statement? What happens then if the CJ has to be in court on a Saturday, which he said he would not?
That is something we will have to agree with a team of judges. I'm sure there's a way they will have, they will come up with to deal with that particular aspect. But the best person really to respond to that would be the Chief Justice himself.
The Chief Justice mm-hmm. himself. Mm-hmm. So what are the plans now going forward as we want to walk as well, of course, mm-hmm. to the courtroom where mm-hmm. this will be happening? So we'll move as we talk a little bit more to that courtroom. What do we expect from tomorrow? Because clearly if there's going to be a petition, it will be filed tomorrow.
We just have to make sure that the courtroom is ready, which it is. We have to make sure that all the necessary security arrangements have been made. We are aware that we might have observers from other jurisdictions, judges from other jurisdictions who might be interested in just observing what is happening. They will have, we will have to make arrangements for them to be able to participate in the process. Yes. We have to make sure that the participation of the media is facilitated, because clearly this is a matter that is of huge public interest, not just in Kenya but internationally as well. Yes. So we have to make sure that they are facilitated to be able to broadcast the proceedings live, because we know that everybody is keenly watching.
Yes. And we've had some of the teams, or rather if you like, petitioners who might be part of this, talking about legal teams as many as 20 individuals. In terms of actually speaking in front of a courtroom, addressing the judges per party, how many are allowed to do that?
Only one counsel can speak at a time.
Yes.
So usually what would happen is that each party might have a team of lawyers, but there will be the lead counsel that will be leading the process. So it's really up to the lawyers to determine who will speak at what point, and the rest will, of course, offer the support.
Yeah. And the last time we witnessed that when the Supreme Court judges then came out to issue judgment, the entire judgment had not been written out. Are we expecting a scenario where, again, we get a summary and then the entire judgment is given at a later date because of the timeline constraints?
I'm not really able to comment on that. I think those are some of the directions that the judges will be able to determine during their conferencing. So really, at my level, I wouldn't be able to comment on that.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about the last petition. I'm sure you followed the presidential petition 2013. Of course, many will remember then there were just 6 judges that sat on the bench. This time around, we'll have 7. Then, of course, it was as a result of the suspension of the DCJ then. Is this bench, as a judiciary, are there lessons you're drawing from that election petition, presidential election petition, as you go into this one?
Actually, the quorum for the Supreme Court is 5 judges.
Okay.
So anything between 5 and 7 can sit. So, of course, we are expecting that all of them should be able to sit unless something comes up. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Any lessons drawn from that, whether it's in terms of just the setup of the hearing of the presidential petition, any other matters that may have come up?
Yes, people have. There have been discussions at different forums where suggestions have been made as regards the possibility of changing the constitution to expand the number of judges in the Supreme Court. Yes. Of course, that is now a constitutional issue. Yeah. As a judiciary, we really cannot determine. Yes. But those discussions have been there.
Ongoing. So we're just about to wrap this up and let the Chief Registrar go. As you notice, we've been walking for a while, but this is because we want to just show you very quickly where the courtroom where all of this, what we're calling the legal battle will be going on, if you like. So we'll be getting there in just a moment, and it's up here. It is where we'll be having those 7 judges seating, and we understand beginning, of course, on the 8th day. So what is it you tell Kenyans? Because I remember last time they had quite a number of people gathering as well as outside the judiciary as these proceedings were going on.
We know that everybody is curious.
Yes.
To follow what's going on. We have the clip of this.
Okay, just proceed.
We will make sure that the broadcast is as accessible as possible, so people do not necessarily have to crowd around the courts to be able to follow what's going on. Right. And that's why we're making sure that all the media houses, including international media, are able to broadcast the process. We don't all have to come here. In fact, you have a better view when you're watching it from a screen than from outside the perimeter wall, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Many thanks. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anna Madi, Chief Registrar of the Judiciary, walking us through, Akisa, just some of what to expect. Of course, she says no petition has been filed yet. Tomorrow is the deadline, tomorrow midnight, so they must definitely by then have filed that petition if in fact they're seeking to go forth with that announcement they made yesterday. And she's also walked us through some of those other likely scenarios we'll witness thereafter, including when the judges begin to sit. Akisa, back to you.
Sophia, thank you very much for that. Quite a comprehensive one there to just see what really we're expecting to see the corridors of justice there in the next few days once NASA files that particular petition at the Supreme Court. So back to my discussion here with Luke Wauna, who is a lawyer. There's a question that Sophia really